Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's WandaVision week, and did Kevin Feige just tell us that this series could ramp into the X-Men's arrival to the MCU? Well, on the eve of Marvel's next phase, I put together some of my favorite nerds to try to figure out how WandaVision could introduce the House of Mutants. I am Erik Voss. This is Rogue Theory. Going rogue with me today is Tommy Bechtold.
Hey, Erik, how are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. Partially because of everyone who's here, including our favorite, sometimes Scarlet Witch cosplayer, all other times amazing Twitch personality, and just amazing person, Angelica Trae.
Aww. Hi, it's good to be back, and yes, I'll do some more cosplays soon, especially as WandaVision's going on.
It's your time to shine. I believe
finally.
in you. And we are thrilled to welcome two new Rockstars, co-host of the Filmlosophers podcast, Eddie Villanueva. Hey, buddy.
How's it going, man? How's it going? Good to be here.
We are so happy to have you here. This lineup, boy oh boy, we're gonna figure it out. I believe in us. This is a good time to be alive because in various interviews for WandaVision, Marvel head Kevin Feige has been dropping hints about his plans for the X-Men and the MCU. And when asked specifically if WandaVision was a ramp to the revival of the X-Men that he has been planning for years, he said, quote, "Well, everything can be a ramp to everything," with a mental wink that I inferred via telepathy. And when he asked when we would see the X-Men, in another interview, he said, "I can't tell you everything before we actually introduce it, but rest assured, the discussions have been long and ongoing internally." Sounds like two big yeses to me, folks. Let's figure it out right here, right now, team. Like last week, no more my scripted pitch versus your scripted pitch, but like the Avengers, we will join forces, and win or lose, we'll do it together. How will WandaVision introduce the mutants to the MCU? Because we are assuming it will, and I want to lead this conversation with this whole theory that the House of M events will tie into it. How likely do you think it is that at some point during WandaVision, Wanda, while having similar House of M psionic meltdowns, might just whisper some kind of incantation and then poof, mutants will suddenly exist in the universe? Kind of a different reversal from House of M, where she erased them.
I was going to say, I kind of feel like that's what this series is going to build towards. I feel like we're going to get a lot of that build up towards that one point that's going to be similar to how we got with Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
Avengers Infinity War, where everybody knew that snap was going to happen. It was inevitable. No pun intended. But it was going to happen. It was pretty much everybody was calling it from a long shot. And then when it came to that point where the snap happened and everything that we had wanted to see / not wanted to see happened, I think that's going to be the similar vein with this one. I think we're going to lead towards that point of House of M where she does say something to the effect of no more mutants, but on that momentous scale, and create this alternate reality of people who are different.
So I could totally see that too, and I think we've touched on this before. You know, in the WandaVision trailer, she has the twins in one of those scenes too, and those are probably going to be Wiccan and Speed, right?
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah, so like she could probably just will them maybe into existence. Clearly she's having a mental break, and there could be some overlap here where the worlds bleed over.
I think the question will be, is it going to be an alternate universe at first that the mutants exist in? Like, she'll create a House of M universe and we'll see like a reality if a lot of people were superpowered, or are they going to spawn within the prime MCU universe that we know?
Like, she's going to open up the multiverse and basically all the mutants are just going to spill out kind of situation.
Yeah. I think it's possible that WandaVision could end by kind of making that new reality where the House of M mutants all exist happily, but that kind of just sets up the multiverse saga. And then at some future installment, maybe Multiverse of Madness or something like that, all of that could get collapsed back together. So that way, now we all have mutants alongside Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy and all that other stuff. Tommy, which of these do you think would be more confusing for the average Marvel fan?
I'm already very confused, as usual. I think that the way that you have to do this is the way that you have to always do these movies, which is a little bit of spoon feeding, which is why I think the approach is going to be simply some sort of cosmic event that awakens the mutant gene in people. You know what I mean? Like, I think that rather than there being like, let's introduce a bunch of convoluted ways for these people to come into the universe, they're going to have already been there, just kind of dormant, like dinosaur eggs, stuck in time, frozen in the tundras of Canada, only to be awoken by an incubator and bringing forth the majesty of dinosaurs. See, what I've said is confusing now because I'm confused. I lash out with the emotion that I feel. So yeah, I think that I have a feeling it's going to be similar to a snap. It's going to be a one moment that just kind of awakens all these familiar mutants that we know and love from the comics.
The theory direction you're going in is that that mutants could get introduced in WandaVision, but that won't be the chief reveal at the end of this series or at the end of this season. If it's a multiverse, and if that's the direction they're going to go, multiverse is the answer basically to a lot of questions we have. But if it's just mutants have always been there as the explanation, and that maybe a past snap released radiation that activated all their mutant genes, then maybe that's just a little thing that's planted in a flashback in like episode 4 or 5 or 6, and then we readdress that in a later installment, and that Wanda and Vision story is just their own thing in the end game of this series. I think a lot of people go back and forth on what's the more exciting way to introduce them, right? Do you say that they've been there the whole time? I think a lot of people are bummed out at that idea of like, well, how have we missed them? Why haven't they helped? But if it's just like a lot of people had these powers, or maybe they died early, but the snap kind of recoded their DNA so that now they're able to walk the earth with like the ability to move super fast, or make things really cold, or manipulate fire, or read people's minds, whatever it is.
Could you imagine how catastrophic that would be, though, if it was like that leftover radiation from a snap, and then all of a sudden all of the mutant genes are unlocked, and now you've got mutants running around? I feel like there'd be people like speeding into things, people like blowing stuff up.
Yes.
It would be so much havoc, but it'd be a lot of fun.
And that's, I think, a good explanation why that might not be the case, because we saw Spider-Man Far From Home happen a couple months after Endgame, or several months after Endgame, and there was no talk of people with like sudden superpowers around the world. So I don't know how connected to the snap it will be, other than maybe there's like a 6-month delay or something, like the radiation and maybe new children or something like that, or the snap ruptured some other alternate universe, but then we're going back to multiverse is the answer, right?
It leans more to the fact of how much weight they're going to be putting on that idea of the multiverse as we move into this new phase, how much of an importance that's going to play moving forward. Because to be quite honest, we've only seen glimpses of it, whether if it's from Ant-Man or from Avengers Endgame. We've only seen glimpses of what the multiverse could look like, even with Doctor Strange. And now kind of moving forward into this new arena where we're going to be talking about things where we haven't really fully touched on in the MCU thus far. The multiverse, as kind of the on-the-nose answer as it is, does seem like the most plausible.
Yeah, from the beginning, we have to kind of rewind the clock and look at what was Feige's original plan for this. Because, WandaVision was not going to be the first title of MCU Phase 4. Black Widow was. And then we were going to have Falcon Winter Soldier, and then probably going to have Eternals after that, and then maybe WandaVision. So it's going to be like the fourth title. However, it was always in the works to have Wanda Maximoff return for Multiverse of Madness. That's why I think this series could end by kind of punting on the mutant question, but that question and the multiverse will be very much a big part of Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3, it looks like, with Doctor Strange appearing in it. But to me, the most exciting version of this is that some mutants have existed, but it's just been on a smaller scale. Like, imagine this explanation, and maybe we'll get an answer like this in Eternals, that mankind has not needed superpowers, but the arrival of superpowered individuals in the 20th century has triggered some kind of genetic mutation in the human race that has been there since millennia before, when the deviants and the Eternals were running around, but that now that like Captain America's arrived, that like people like Hulk and Thor are walking around on Midgard, mankind has developed a response to that, and all of that has been tied in, and now we need mutants in the world to match that strength, and survival of the fittest and Darwinianism is kicking in.
And that's a really good intro into a lot of topics and themes that are in the X-Men movies, right? Where it's like the argument that it's evolution and that, you know, some of the mutants, you know, feel like they're superior. And I could definitely see that argument now getting woven into the MCU. That's really cool.
And is it possible?
I think what I really, really, I think what I absolutely, really, really want to see at the end of all this, I want to see this like wormhole come out of the middle of nowhere with Vision standing in the middle of nowhere, and out comes Reed Richards, and he's been trying to connect universes from one side to the next, and it's John Krasinski. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want to see.
I think that's all a lot of us want to see. Tommy, you were about to say something.
Oh, I think it doesn't really connect at this point. It's fine. It's all good.
You have a skill I wish I had in conversations, and being able to let go of a thread. For me, I'm always like, hey, I know the conversation moved on from this 3 minutes ago, but can we circle back to this point I need to make?
Oh yeah.
No.
I'll share a pun from like a conversation we had 10 minutes ago. I'm like, okay, I waited. Now I'm gonna drop this pun. Been holding on to it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Obviously, multiverse is being set up in WandaVision, but for multiverse to be the answer for mutants, that's kind of answering a question with a question, right? So I feel like WandaVision could introduce mutants, but I don't know if multiverse is going to be the answer. I don't know if House of M. I think there's going to be some parallels to House of M in the show, but I don't think they're going to go all the way with it. I think House of M, we might see pieces of it in Multiverse of Madness, especially if Wanda Maximoff is a villain, because in House of M, Wanda Maximoff is kind of the antagonist in that. However, I think they will address the mutant question in a historical perspective by flashing back to Sokovia, and I think the only reason they're doing that is because Marvel acknowledges that Age of Ultron had its hands tied behind its back, and the way they could talk about Pietro and Wanda, they couldn't call them mutants when, you know, Marvel fans know that they're mutants in comics. And now we might see a bit of that history and how they had a natural genetic predisposition, aka an X gene. But one thing I want to ask all three of you about, Paul Bettany said in an interview that there is a mystery actor, someone he has always wanted to work with, that's going to be a surprise to everyone, and that this person and him have fireworks in the show. You know, I've speculated this could be just based off of who Bettany has worked with before. Maybe Richard E. Grant, who's confirmed for Loki, and I think will be a big bad in the MCU going forward. Maybe Dr. Doom. That guy's so good, he could do a lot of different things. But do you guys think this could be a past X-Men actor that they're going to fold into this universe?
Ooh.
I was actually just thinking that when you mentioned that, I was like, it'd be so great for him to meet, you know, Sir Patrick Stewart in that instance. Just have that one interaction between the two of them, even if it's just mentally, you know, have them come together in this kind of spatial area, even within maybe the multiverse itself.
That's perfect for Professor X too. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love that. I love Sir Patrick Stewart.
That would be great.
And just him as Professor X. Also, he's my captain, so.
Yeah.
He's all of our captains.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I mean, obviously, I'm still pretty sore after the events of Logan. I won't bring him up, but it would be really great to see Sir Patrick Stewart again. Does anyone have any insight on where you think this will come in timeline-wise? Because, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing like Phoenix, or Jean Grey, you know, type situation coming in, but I don't know where that timeline would be set.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we don't even have to worry about timeline anymore. If they're going to kind of reboot the events of the Fox X-Men things, I wouldn't imagine Jack Schaefer or the WandaVision team or Feige really held themselves that hard to whatever the Bryan Singer and Simon Kinberg were working on over at Fox.
So they could just de-age Sir Patrick Stewart and, you know, just like...
They've done it before.
CGI the
end
one
of,
more time.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, just because I don't want to see all those Fox X-Men actors just go to waste. I think McAvoy, Fassbender, so talented. If they were to just bring in Fassbender to be the MCU Magneto, I would be here for it.
I think we're missing the obvious answer here, guys, and that is...
They need a veto. Just kidding.
Kelsey Grammer as Beast. It's gotta be Frasier. We all are ignoring the elephant in the room that Paul Bettany is a huge Cheers fan and has spoken on record about how much he loves the cast of Cheers. And where is the link there? To me, it's Kelsey Grammer. And if it's not him, then it's Giancarlo Esposito, who was not in Cheers, but is a great actor.
Oh, he was in talks.
Or Ted Danson as Reed Richards. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
Giancarlo Esposito would be great. Keanu Reeves, who's always been in talks to join the MCU. If this is who they're talking about, like a big name like that, I mean, yeah,
He's got
Paul
to play
Bettany
a John
says,
or a Johnny, though. He's only ever John or Johnny. So
That's
we're going to
right.
have to think up some Johnny names
Yes.
within X-Men,
Yes.
within that universe, and throw it in the comments or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. But
There you
Keanu
go.
can only play Johnnies.
Agreed.
Nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely. We do want to hear from you in the comments. Just to wrap this conversation up, because, we'll have to be watching WandaVision tonight. But because I have this kind of brain, I still mentally award points to each of you. I know I said that we weren't competing, but everyone's in competition in my brain. So let's see. I am going to give Tommy 1 point for Kelsey Grammer. I think that we got to see him again. I'm going to give Eddie 2 points for Sir Patrick Stewart showing up. He needs to just get at least a cameo in the MCU. And I think every actor said, I want to share a scene with Patrick Stewart, please, in my career. And then Angelica, I'm going to give you 3 points for your general theories for how WandaVision's going to go, and your mix of skepticism but imaginative wishful thinking for where the series could go.
If I'm anything, it's skepticism, but also wishful thinking.
Yep.
It's balance. Thank you.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to keep talking about WandaVision this episode because there's too much to talk about. And obviously, you can see if you've been watching Rogue Theory, we are trying a new format where we just kind of all talk about it as if, we're sharing a room together in a podcast, as opposed to being isolated and just reading off a computer screen, something we wrote ahead of time. Hopefully it feels more organic. I love it more. I feel like we're able to go to more interesting depths and make it more of a conversation. Let us know what you think about this new format. We didn't tweak it that much, but find me on Twitter at EA Voss. That's really the best way to reach me. But you can also find us on our Discord server, open to all channel patrons, patreon.com/new Rockstars. Also, we want to announce some stuff. New Rockstars and our merch partners at Epic Hero Shop have 2 really amazing WandaVision inspired t-shirt designs at newrockstarsmerch.com. Each shirt has an augmented reality element built into it, and if you purchase the latest Obsession shirt, you have the option to get an on-screen shout out in our Inside Marvel after show. Also, Epic Hero Shop has a companion shirt to it. You don't want to split up the unusual couple. You want to keep this couple together, so be sure to check out Epic Hero Shop's Wanda shirt. It also has an AR component. I didn't know that shirts could do this. It's so crazy. It's kind of like watching WandaVision. It's like, I didn't know Marvel things could do this. Also, and this is something we've never done before, our friends at Epic Hero Shop are giving away 10 PS5s, PlayStation 5s. You enter by subscribing to their YouTube channel. It's called Epic Hero Labs. It's a very interesting channel that has hidden messages in it. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe you can tell me. And then you can fill out the form that you find at epicheroshop.com/giveaway. Every 10,000 subscribers, there will be a new winner announced of a PS5. There's also a bunch of ways to get in more entries into that giveaway at that website, so go check that out, epicheroshop.com/giveaway. So we want to move on to talk about Vision and whether or not he has a future in the MCU after this. But first, we want to thank our friends at Bespoke Post for sponsoring this episode. So the curators at Bespoke Post have done it again this winter, folks, with an all-new lineup of a central box of awesome collections for guys guaranteed to upgrade your life. I have gotten some great kitchen items at Bespoke Post in the past that have come in handy since I have been cooking at home more lately. Whether it's cool equipment to up your cooking game or cozy threads to survive the chilly days, Bespoke Post only sends guys the best stuff every month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. Style, grooming goods, barware, outdoor gear. Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. For folks looking to go alcohol-free in the new year, doing your dry Januaries, their new dry box has all of the ingredients to make a really tasty mocktail old-fashioned. So it feels like you're getting it, but you're staying true to your New Year's resolutions. Good for you. Take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. And they release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box only costs $45, but it has over $70 worth of gear inside. So here's what you do. You get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code ROGUE at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com bluechew.com, code ROGUE for 20% off your first box. This episode is also sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, do you remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can get back that extra confidence in bed from our friends at BlueChew.com. That's blue, like the color blue, B-L-U-E. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor's office and wait in line at the pharmacy. And it ships directly to your door in a discreet package, unless you are Tommy Bechtold and you want the world to know via confetti cannons. This isn't for you.
I always say, Eric, if you can't swallow a pill like an adult, you should be able to chew your ED medicine like a Flintstone vitamin.
Yabba dabba doo! They are so Blue Chews are made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. There's no awkwardness, no leaving the house. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code of ROGUE. Just pay $5 in shipping. Again, that's BLUE Chew.com, promo code ROGUE to try it free. Blue Chew is a better, cheaper choice, folks. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help make this show possible. So please be sure to use our promo code ROGUE at BlueChew.com. And this episode was sponsored by MeUndies. MeUndies has teamed up with Marvel to launch their brand new super soft Avengers collection. The Avengers are not super soft. The Avengers are hard as hell. But the MeUndies are so soft. So you feel like you're supported and nuzzled down there. You can be cosplaying as your favorite Marvel superhero under your clothes. MeUndies are made from micromodal fabric, which is not only soft but breathable and light. Impossibly cozy. I have a pair of MeUndies lounge pants, and they are insanely comfortable. So basically, if pajama bottoms had a baby with a cloud, their offspring would feel like MeUndies lounge pants. I wear them around the house, and they take my lounge abilities up several notches. And you guys know me, I love to lounge. I love to lounge. Lounge. Their new limited edition Avengers print features some of your favorite superheroes: Captain America, Black Panther, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, more. Check out the new collection in undies, socks, loungewear, buddy bands for your pet. Your pet can have a bandana on that matches your underwear. I gotta get one of these for Darla. She would be like, yes, I love you, and I'll never bark at nighttime ever again. We'll see. MeUndies has their problem-free philosophy. So if you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, they'll refund or exchange it. No caveats, no questions. Isn't that great? To get your 15% off your first order and free shipping, go to MeUndies.com/rockstars. That's MeUndies.com/rockstars. All right, the second half of our titular duo of WandaVision is in a unique place. Mr. Vision, we watched him die in Infinity War and not come back in Endgame. So, we kind of assume he's still dead despite appearing in the 9 episodes of this Disney Plus series, but that, the mysteries of the show are all tied in how he comes back. Is it a projection from Wanda's mind? Are we seeing flickering channels in the multiverse where he's still alive? Is it some kind of demonic trickery? We'll find out through watching the show how Vision is alive and whether he will stay alive. But I want to know from you guys, what do you think Vision's post-WandaVision future is going to be? Is he going to survive after the series? Is he going to evolve into a new form? Have we seen the final form of Vision?
I recall discussing this with you before, Eric, but I feel like it might be a bit of a cop-out. I don't want to say this necessarily, but we've talked about her, Wanda, possibly absorbing some of Vision's soul or something, and then just bringing him back to the MCU. That might be a bit of a cop-out, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I could see him transforming into a different, I don't know, them bringing him back in some other form. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think there's a big possibility here of us seeing Shuri finish what she was trying to do at the end of Infinity War, where she was trying to remove the Mind Stone from Vision, and quite possibly in the same instance, this is kind of where maybe the storylines start to meld, where while, maybe there's some instance where Wanda's kind of inside whatever's left of Vision, and this is what they're both creating with her power and her ability.
I love that idea. You were saying Wanda's
Shuri
rebuilding.
from the outside and Wanda from the inside.
Oh, Oh, okay.
That's a very interesting idea. This is all like, and I love when, you go inside someone's mind and it's just kind of their mind palace. So all kinds of fantasy crap is looking possible, but really it's just like what we're seeing are
Holmes reference.
Yeah, that's right. Neutrons are being tied together, and Wanda's trying. It's like Corbin Dallas Multipass in The Fifth Element, or Ultron, I guess we should say, is a more apt reference here, where it's just like watching a bunch of TV from the 20th century to try to figure out what humanity is.
I'm interested in wondering or finding out like what does it mean to be Vision in another multiverse? You know what I mean? Like in another universe. Like what is it like? Vision came about in this universe as an answer to defeat Ultron, right? Like he was a solution to the problem. So in what scenarios was Vision created in these other dimensions? And is there an answer in there and how to bring this Vision back? Is he always a being formed with like a combination of AI and organic materials? Is he just an organic being in other universes with the soul of Vision, quote unquote, or what? Or how does that happen? And I think that if they lean heavier into the multiverse in this show, instead of just in the Doctor Strange movie, we could see maybe the answer to this Vision coming back as influenced by another version of Vision. A Vision version. An alternate version Vision. A virgin version Vision, alternate Vision version. Visage.
Ooh. Try saying that
those
8
tongue
times.
twisters from school.
Yeah. Season 2 is just going to be called Vision or Vision Wanda.
So Wanda's just opening up the multiverse and everyone's spilling out, basically. Yes. Right, Tommy?
Well,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying if they go that way, I would prefer Eddie's plan, to be honest with you. I like Eddie's idea. That would be my preferred way that it happens. But if they are going to use this as a introduction to all of these characters, perhaps somewhere in these dimensional rifts lies the answer to how to bring this Vision back or why this Vision is back.
I was just going to say, we can't be done with Paul Bettany. No. That's all I have to say. We can't be done with him.
I agree.
We need him.
Can we do that thing where I don't know how to have conversations, so I loop back to a point I want to make earlier and say I just want something to be called a Viz called Wanda?
Totally fine.
Yeah.
A Viz.
So stupid.
Yes.
I ruined. Yes. I broke the episode.
Let's be honest. There's a decent scenario where Paul Bettany returns to the MCU as Jarvis, right? Like there's definitely a pathway where like Vision dies in this show, and then all of a sudden in one of the new MCU movies, the technology to Jarvis or the original drive of Jarvis's personality or whatever is found in Stark Industries somewhere, and someone else in the MCU uses Jarvis or utilizes Jarvis.
That's what I want, honestly. Everyone knows my feelings about Vision. He's just too much of a Frankenstein character for me to attach to them. I am hoping WandaVision changes that. But I think Paul Bettany was so much more interesting as Jarvis than he was as Vision. And I'm sure Paul Bettany, if the pay is the same, which it isn't because he'll be voiceover versus, being on camera. But I'm sure that guy has loved being on camera in WandaVision because he doesn't have to be in makeup all the time. But I hope that Jarvis can exist going forward in the future. I love Jarvis, and I miss him. I miss Jarvis. So here's what I'm going to do. Tommy, I'm giving you 1 point for the Jarvis theory. Eddie, I'm giving you 2 points, though, for your theory. I think that is fascinating, and I hope that's what WandaVision is.
Why not both? Why not have him as Jarvis and then bring him back in like a different form, like White Vision or something, too?
Absolutely.
He could get double paychecks.
Yeah.
Double Vision.
Double Vision. I think the answer to all of New Rockstars Rogue Theory episodes is all of these theories will be right eventually. We just might not live to see it happen.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move. Oh, damn it. The rogue question is what is the surprise actor that Paul Bettany was referring to? So here's what I'm going to do. On the fly, I'm going to use my improv skills to improvise one. Whew, I haven't done this in a while.
Sweet.
I heard acoustic guitar. Oh, I just happen to have one. Oh, I just have to side chat. I saw an improv show at an improv festival one time where they were like, we can do any genre of music in the world. Just shout out a genre of music and we'll Wayne Brady it. And people were like saying real hard stuff like reggae and bluegrass. And then there was probably 6 or 7 different ones. And the guy goes, I think I heard acoustic guitar. And we looked around, there was like 20 of us in the audience. We're like, no, it said that. And we were all improvisers. and then we're also like, acoustic guitar is not a genre of music. It's an instrument.
No.
You just kept saying that. That's beautiful. I love that.
Everybody knows
I mean, I have mine right next to me.
Acoustic guitar is not a genre. It's a personality trait.
Getting college flashbacks again.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
Yes. Oh, come on, Angelica, you're unbelievable though. You're a great musician. I'm talking guy at a college party that takes plays Smoke on the Water.
Hey! I'll start playing like "Wish You Were Here" randomly, and everyone just like plays that riff, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I know how to play guitar." Like that's me.
Yeah.
I can be that person.
No,
I just choose not to all the time. But
very
it's a great song. It's a great song.
Yeah, you are a good person. All right, so here's going to be our rogue question to decide it all. Paul Bettany, in an interview last month, answered a question that no one really had asked. And what color is Vision's private parts and how do they work? And he said, quote, "It's purple." So now that Paul Bettany has made this MCU canon, how detachable are Vision's privates? Are his Vision's sentience contained in his privates? And would he have to have a standoff battle the way he did with Ultron?
With his privates?
With his purple android.
Okay.
So there's a song by King Missile that I am thinking of that's going to age me for our
Detachable
viewers.
penis.
Yes, I think that could have been inspired by this conversation. I like to think that as like everything with Vision is basically whatever he wants it to be. Like that's kind of the frustrating thing with his character in my mind is like he can just kind of do whatever he wants. So I imagine that like whatever came standard issue, he made bigger and like more supple, and, like more intimidating, and it's probably more like a fist than anything else. And you know those the GI Joe toy that could shoot. Yeah, a nice supple engorged penis. We all describe it that way. Don't act like that's not normal, Eddie.
Hey, you know.
But you know the GI Joe Jeep thing that launched rockets. Like it's like you had like 3 spring-loaded rockets. I imagine that Vision from like the waist down is a GI Joe Jeep with three of them, a Hydra, if you will. Each one more powerful than the last, but dependent upon each other, that can spring load out in different directions to the pleasure or devastation of his friends and enemies.
Vision's more of an efficient person. It's probably looking something more. I don't know. When I think Vision, I think efficient and robotic. With what Tommy was saying, I'm also getting visions from like what was that movie with Guillermo del Toro who
with the
I'm drawing a blank.
The fish guy?
With the fishman.
Shape of Water?
Yes.
Oh.
Shape of Water?
There
Shape of Water,
yeah.
where she does that whole like kind of thing. I'm like I'm getting a lot of like those kind of vibes here. So exactly. There you go. You got it, Eric. You got it.
I think it's retractable. I think he's got an innie and an outie.
Oh.
And it'll
like a switchblade.
So I think
ergonomic.
Exactly. So he can choose whether, it's like the other side of the detachable penis. It's more of the retractable penis. Yeah, which is going to be King Missile's next.
Oh, they're due for a comeback, Angelica.
Years later.
What if it's like a Murphy bed? Like it just folds up into like a cummerbund and it looks like it's functional and then it just flops down. I'm doing all of this work you can't see, but
see, I'm going off of what Eddie said, and I thought you said it's more efficient, being like his more efficient than he is. So it's like the T-1000 and Vision is the T-800, and then he replaces him and he becomes a new Avenger. And this is rated R, X-17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just trying to find ways to make Vision interesting to me. Okay, that's all.
I know.
So you're saying Vision's unit is now its own entity. It's weaponized. So
what could power it?
Carbon neutral.
Right? Is that okay?
I think Vision would recognize the genetics theory that really all of humanity are just flesh puppets in order for our genes to replicate themselves. And going with that, he would understand that his final form is merely his anatomical sexual organ.
Or
I got
it's got
3
an
words
X
for you.
gene. Oh,
3 words for you. Nuclear powered
Oh,
penis.
That's
you down with
3
NPP?
words I'm
Yeah,
willing
you
to
know
live
me.
by.
wow, that's alluring. That is alluring. Or it's got an X gene, and during the just returning back to the Thanos snap radiation, was it mutant gene unlock?
Yes.
Basically, it just comes to life one day.
It's
That'd be
its
great.
own
Like
mutant.
Frosty.
It's its own thing.
Like
Becomes
Frosty
an
the
Avenger. It's
Snowman.
called just the Purple Avenger. Yeah, exactly.
I blame myself for dragging all of us into the gutter here. So
Yeah,
no one's gonna
I'm
get the
definitely having
point.
some visions about this.
None of us should be proud of ourselves, chiefly me. But I believe, Eddie, that makes you the winner of this episode of Rogue Theory. Well done.
Hey, nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. NPP.
So that is it for this episode of Rogue Theory. I want to thank our guests, Tommy Bechtold, Angelica Trae, Eddie Villanueva. Be sure to follow all of them on all their social media channels. You can support our channel by checking out one of our many great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe here on YouTube. Be sure to tune in for Inside Marvel tomorrow, and our breakdowns of the episodes will come out the following days. Thank you, everybody. Bye.